Now, I have seen the film 3 times. By the way, this is just to let you guys know, this is one video that I want to get out of the way before the year ends. Because with Rogue One, I released it in January. I don't want to do that. I just want to get like all the 2017 videos done and out of the way in 2017, and then just move on with the 2018 videos and keep those 2018 videos in that year. So I'm just doing this one more video before the year ends, and then I'm done. We can finally go out and celebrate the new year. Anyway, I have seen this film now 3 times, and I've given it about 2 weeks to really sink into my brain, and I am ready to let go. Let go! But first, I just want to establish that I will be to keep it nice and simple and short. I will be talking about the things that I liked and really loved in this film, and second, I will be addressing some of the complaints that other Star Wars fans have had with this movie, and then I will be sharing the problems with it, the things I didn't like. So to start off, the things that I liked is not that much. Technically there's a lot of it, but it's all encompassing. Like it's very overall. Like overall, the things that I liked is the Rey and Kylo Ren. I really liked where they took Rey. We can see her growing as a character and becoming more powerful. I liked what they did with Kylo Ren. Spoiler alert, by the way, because this is a spoilers video. Snoke dies. Now, this is not a problem that I had. I would have liked to have seen more of him, but I honestly don't care, because in all truthfulness, he's kind of like the Emperor in the original trilogy. We've seen that type of villain before. I liked how they killed him off and had Kylo Ren do it. It was interesting because now we have the actual main antagonist not answering to anyone anymore. And that's what they did with Darth Vader. He was answering to the Emperor the entire time until he turned to the light side. With this, Kylo Ren has not turned to the light side, yet he has turned on his supreme leader. So I found it interesting. What they are doing for Kylo Ren is they are making him the main antagonist more than Darth Vader ever was. This is his story as much as it is Rey's, and I love that. I love Rey's story. I love that this trilogy is not just focusing on the protagonist story, it's focusing on the antagonist story as much as the hero's journey. So it's the hero's journey and the villain's journey. I love how they did that. I love Rey. I also love the tense scenes that they had in this movie. Another thing that I really like that not too many people liked is Luke. Now, I'll get to his death later, but I liked what they did with Luke. I found it interesting. He was just a really interesting guy. It's interesting when you see a character because we have seen Luke in the past. We've seen him young, hopeful, fighting for the rebellion, all that stuff. And in this, he's just lost it. He sees that, you know what, for the Jedi to say that the Force is theirs, or the Sith to say that the Force is theirs, is vanity. And I love that. It makes sense. It's like, yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, because the Force is, if it's through everything and connects everything, that means it's not owned by one faction or two factions. It's it. So I like how they used that and the mistake he made with Kylo Ren as a way of getting him to this point. For me, it made sense. It didn't really to some, it didn't suit the character, but to me, it just made sense. As a human being, or a person, or whatever he is, because I'm not sure if they're human beings or not in the Star Wars films, but as a person, it made sense. As a person, I related to that. It's like, if that were me, that's how I would turn out. The other thing that I really loved was Poe Dameron's story. Now, this is very short. I mentioned it in my the review that my mum and I did, that my mother and I did, and I said that I loved it. I really loved what they did with him, and I didn't mention that because I couldn't go in depth. But what happens is he starts out as the guy who's always shooting first and not thinking about the casualties. And what happens is, this is his character arc. He's going from just a a shooter pilot to let's save more lives to fight the next fight and probably win the war. So I liked what they did, and also his story kind of tied into. I called her Chief Holdo in the review. It's actually Admiral Holdo. You can call her Chief Holdo if you want, but she started out as a dick, basically. She because we're invested into Poe, we kind of see where he's coming from, so we understand him. But when you sit back and think about it, you think, wow, that Holdo girl was actually pretty cool as a character. Okay, so let's address some of the complaints. Some of the two biggest complaints that always bug me is Leia using the Force and Luke nearly killing Ben Solo. Now, firstly, Star Wars fans, a lot of Star Wars fans actually have said that they didn't like Leia using the Force, that it just looked weird, it just it didn't feel right. And the only thing I have to say to you guys is she was already Force sensitive. She was Force sensitive from Empire Strikes Back, the original trilogy that you guys claim to love so much. So why do you have a problem with her actually using the Force like she did in those movies? Like she was connecting with Luke and talking to him through the Force many times actually. And as you get older, you would become more powerful in the Force. So why is this a problem? Honestly, I think people, Star Wars fans and audiences in general, just didn't like this because of how it looked. And to that I say, bullshit. Who cares what it looks like? She is using the Force the way she is meant to. And the second complaint that it probably got more complaints, more cries out than the Leia using the Force is Luke killing Ben Solo. Almost killing Ben Solo. To this, I say, yeah, I can see where you guys are coming from. It might seem out of character, but I'm defending this because it actually makes sense for Luke, and I'll tell you why. The original trilogy, everyone keeps comparing this movie to the original trilogy and how Luke would not have been like that in the original trilogy. Well, he actually kind of was for one moment, when he nearly killed his father, Darth Vader, in Return of the Jedi. Killing your own father or your own nephew, it really doesn't matter because they're still family. Okay, so you can't say one is more meaningful than the other. They're both family, they both mean a lot to him, and he was on the verge of killing them both, but like he said, it was a fleeting moment, it passed, and he was shameful, he didn't like it. And that was the consequence of almost going through with that. But the thing is, it's not like it's out of character. He's nearly done it before with Darth Vader. So, honestly, that complaint that it was out of character for Luke Skywalker is not valid. Okay, so really quickly, the things that I did not like was some of the humor. The two jokes that really stick out of my head they did honestly make me laugh, but they just didn't feel quite like Star Wars. It felt like it was a bit too comedic for a Star Wars movie. And the first joke is how the movie started off basically with Poe talking to General Hux on the phone or whatever. If you've seen the movie, I'm not going to tell you the joke, but if you've seen the movie, you get the joke. For me, it suited Poe because he kind of was acting really comedic with Kylo Ren the first time he met him. It was like, you talk first, I talk first, what happened? But so it kind of was in character, but I don't think it was the right time to do that. Also, the second joke that I actually laughed a lot more than the first one, but just didn't feel right for the scene, is when Luke was teaching Rey and he said, reach out, and she's like, and he like gets a leaf and tickles her finger and she's like, oh, I can feel the Force, and then he slaps her and she's like, oh shit, why'd you do that for? Oh, you meant reach out, like, oh yeah. Anyway, that was funny first time seeing it. It was funny first time seeing it. But the second time or third time you see it, you realize they're kind of making fun of Star Wars. Like, they're kind of mocking themselves. And that is more of a Marvel thing. And it's something that I actually don't like Marvel for doing. So, and then when Star Wars does it, it just gets all confused. And it's like, it reminds me of Thor Ragnarok, which is a movie I don't really want to remember. Oh man, the Rose romance with Finn. I don't like that. Now, in the first movie, I didn't quite like them setting up Finn and Rey to have a romance because I saw something in Kylo Ren and Rey, which I still see to this day. But now that I've watched this movie, I see it. Like, Finn and Rey, they could be happy together. They could be great together on screen. But then I don't know, like J.J. Abrams, I'm only guessing here, but I'm guessing he wanted Finn and Rey to get together, which I could see happening now. But then I guess like Rian Johnson wanted Rose to pine after Finn, even though Finn and Rey are probably gonna get together sometime soon. So I just, it felt forced. Like, she kisses him on the lips, and even he himself was like, that, no. Like, the expression on his face was like shock, and like he didn't want it. Okay, so this is something that wasn't a big problem the first time I saw it, but every time I watched it after that, I saw that it's unnecessary. It's Luke's death. Luke did not need to die in this movie. If he did, then they should have just left him on Crate and let him die when Kylo Ren killed him. But what they do is they turn it around and reveal that Luke is not actually there, that Kylo Ren didn't kill him, Luke survived. But then they kill him off anyway. It's baffling to me, honestly. Even my mum didn't like it. So that there's a couple things that we agree on concerning the movie, and we just didn't like it because they set it up to show us that he was not actually there, that he was going to survive, but then they kill him off anyway. If you're going to kill him off, then kill him off the right way. Don't do it like that. So I guess you can say that for me personally, this is a very polarizing movie for me because there are things that I love and things that just I didn't like. So this is a polarizing Star Wars film for fans in general, but also individuals like me. There are things I love, things I don't like. It is quite confusing. And like, to me, The Force Awakens is still the best movie alongside The Empire Strikes Back, so nothing will beat those movies as of yet. Anyway, that is my spoiler video for The Last Jedi. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in my upcoming in 2018 video. It's an announcement video. Also, please, I've done my top 10 movies of the year and my top worst movies of the year, so go and have a look at them. They should mostly be a great time, so just have a look. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video on the 1st of January. Have a happy new year, guys.